这担架抬的让赵宏略犹如在还是
Oh god, no man, my thigh. You thought it was gonna be my knee. Why are you running ahead, bro? What's the point? Well, it's a stretcher, so I thought we had to stretch it out. Like, it's not what we do. I'll be honest, lads, it's bad. One more drop and he's done. We are gathered here today to commemorate. Oh god, my hamstring. How are you even talking, bruv? You're supposed to be. Actually, wait, hang on a second. That is not correct. Yo guys, it is your boy Near here, and welcome to football of the last 2 weeks. Thank you very much for your patience, everyone. I was on a holiday last week, which meant there was no episode. But today, we're covering all the news from the last fortnight. What's been kicking off in the world this week? Well, finally, the fight of the century is happening. Tommy Fury versus KSI.
No! Fuck! Shit!
JJ is back boxing and he's facing Love Islander and part-time boxer Tommy Fury. Tommy will be quick to pull out though when he sees that KSI can actually box 3 weeks before the fight.
First thing I did this morning was sneezed 3 times.
But to be fair, he doesn't fight fair. And Tommy's dad John will be fuming when JJ punches Tommy with his elbow.
You see that? I'm gonna shatter your fucking jaw!
It should be a big build-up though, because KSI, look, he's a larger-than-life character. And I'm not talking about Lizzo's backup dancers. Now though, on to the football, and we start with the Community Shield. After Cole Palmer gave Manchester City the lead, a 101st minute equaliser from Leandro Trossard and penalties win gave the Gunners victory here, in what they now consider to be major silverware. Declan Rice has played 2 games recently and won 2 trophies. This man is taste the difference basmati. It's a second shield for Arteta. He'll be ecstatic before realising he's filled his dishwasher before his trophy cabinet. Gunners fans will be rubbing it in when they head into the office after winning the plate over the weekend.
Alright, stop, collaborate and listen. Rice is back with a brand new invention. Something grabbed a hold of me tightly.
I can't lie, lads. They might be winning it all.
We're gonna win so much, you may even get tired of winning. We can't take it anymore.
Alright, let's calm it down, innit? Rio Ferdinand was quick to get at Arsenal. He can't remember how many Community Shields he's won. He can't count to 4 though, so we shouldn't be surprised. And Man City were leading until the very end as a deflected Trossard effort took the game to penalties. And Man City thought they'd won. So much so they posted this caption on Insta. Erling Haaland was escorted out of the celebrations thinking he'd won too. Kevin De Bruyne thundered his penalty off the bar and was fuming at the hate messages he received afterwards.
Jesus have souls. I go to church. I'm a Christian.
I mentioned Erling Haaland. He put 3 fingers up to Arsenal fans to represent his pass percentage. Listen, he was shitting last year's Community Shield too, and look what happened. Pep conceded and immediately backed out to Buxton. He was quoted as saying he doesn't mind losing the Community Shield because he always wins the Premier League. He can quite easily name all the teams that he's lost the Shield to now.
Burnley, Wolves, Leicester, Newcastle, Spurs, Arsenal, United.
Drake betted on sports again this week and made major losses, and probably betted here, let's be real. He was frustrated, realising he couldn't cash in the 102nd minute. Who does he want to win? Arsenal? Man City?
Combination.
Well, I hope he didn't bet on a Kai Havertz goal, because even Gunners players were struggling to make that happen. Though Kai Havertz can at least gloat to the Chelsea fans after missing 16 one-on-ones, but still gaining silverware. On the other side of North London though, and the Harry Kane situation continues to rumble. A midnight deadline was set for this deal, though Bayern was stressed after forgetting about it and trying to hand in their working at 11:59 p.m. Daniel Levy was looking for a scrap after the Germans put a bid in at 4 minutes past 12.
I don't know why he's being cheeky. Why is he being cheeky?
Here's the Kane they're gonna get if they end up bidding late. Tottenham won £100 million, by the way, for a man in the last year of his contract. I get it, obviously he's a sensational player, easily their best player, but surely this amount is a little bit too big. No, not big in that sense, Liz. You don't have to worry. This would only be £50 million if his name was Harry Kenichi. 6.8 mil if his name was Harold Kanchek. Bayern fans have come in for a shock here when they realise it's actually hard to sign players outside of the Bundesliga. And Tottenham faced off against Barcelona in a pre-season friendly this week. They were 2-1 up 81 minutes in and ended up losing the game 4-2. Harry Kane was probably there too, walking through the streets of Barcelona trying to get a move to Spain. The problem is, I guess there might be a language barrier. Some Barcelona players can't speak English, but then again, neither can Harry. Over in the US, and Lionel Messi is continuing to make a mockery of the MLS. He scored a free kick late to rescue a 4-4 draw in the Cup v Dallas before winning the match on penalties. The free kick was spectacular, and Inter Miami owner David Beckham's reaction was great. He's now the 4th highest scorer in Inter Miami history. He's been there 20 minutes. Him versus the MLS is a complete mismatch. Fourth in the all-time scorers list when his return flight is still valid is crazy. His gun license hasn't even come through yet. But they were 4-2 down till this own goal. Listen, Leo might be paying people, you know. Then in the shootout, the taker, they do realise this isn't American football, don't they?
Just put it over by a mile.
Inter Miami also faced off against Orlando and won, with Leo scoring twice. The Orlando admin, though, was confused at a penalty decision, it's fair to say, and things got heated between Leo and one of his opponents, too.
You don't know where I'm from, dog.
Listen, me and the Miami Police Department are on the way to defend him. Imagine when Rodrigo de Paul arrives. Here we have Leo getting revenge in the reverse fixture. Now, on to the Women's World Cup, and England scraped into the last 8 of the tournament with a penalties win over Nigeria. I was fighting my ID demons in this one. An English border patrol would not have been kind to me if Nigeria won.
It's clear to me that you've got a forged passport.
No, I haven't.
So the biggest story from this one was late foul play from Lauren James, ending in a red card that sees her suspended after the second most aggressive stamp of the week. Lauren clearly had a change of heart halfway through this one.
Today I feel African.
This is outrageous, and our stamp is harsh. In certain areas of Nigeria, and that would have burst BBL settings. Alozie, the player on the ground, did take it well over on Twitter. If I got sent off for this manager, by the way, I'm petrified. I can't lie, lads. Listen, I'm so sorry. It will never happen again. Genuinely, I'm so... I said I'm sorry. She looks like she's about to drop you from the starting 11 and give you a history detention. Onto the penalty shootout, though, where Mary Earps was the hero, licking her lips beforehand, looking like Sam Allardyce walking into a Toby Carvery. Chloe Kelly is an absolute maniac, by the way, winning the shootout with a laces penalty that travelled at 111 kilometers per hour, faster than any Premier League goal from last season.
My darling, you with a headband, you are different gravy.
Imagine a poor goalkeeper when she saw this one coming towards her.
That was too hard. Someone's gonna get hurt if you kick it that hard.
Overall, massive props to Nigeria, though, who gave this one a great game. England obviously have been really unfortunate with injuries during the tournament, hence they haven't looked their normal self. Meanwhile, for the US, and the World Cup holders are out by the finest of margins after a penalty loss to Sweden. The final penalty crossed the line by the width of a hair, with the finest margin VAR's ever recorded. The penalty, according to the US, was saved but still went in. Well, it's not saved then, is it, lads? I mean, we've got a new VAR angle of all of it here. Meanwhile, the Swedish players themselves were caught laughing in the changing rooms after seeing the pictures. One of the vital penalty misses came from Megan Rapinoe as well, as she sent her spot kick miles over the bar. She's the master of a no-look fan interaction and a strong-look penalty miss. I mean, what can't she do? Fair play to the US goalkeeper, though, because she actually took a penalty early on here. Imagine being the US coach, seeing your shot stopper step up for the 6th pen.
What is the goalkeeper doing? Why are you there?
As for the US, very disappointing tournament overall, and one where a Netflix series will be documenting their progress. I can't imagine it's going to be very long. Now, United have had a very active pre-season, and they finally won with a victory over French side Lens. Andre Onana, however, was lobbed from the halfway line. He might need a lens, 2 of them, to be honest, from Specsavers after being beaten here. The season hasn't even started, by the way, and he's already in the wrong type of net. Andre was not too happy, though, with Harry Maguire, shouting at him in Game 1. Here we have him to Eric Ten Hag, talking about Harry Maguire in the manager's office.
It's non-negotiable. It's non-negotiable. He goes. He goes.
Mason Mount struggling a little bit, no goal contributions yet, and 1 game away from the dreaded 007. Frank Lampard will be distressed when he sees this news. Well, he's not going to mount a challenge to get in the first team like that, is he? You know what I'm saying? No, but genuinely, I'm putting him up for adoption. Elsewhere, and Rasmus Højlund has joined the club for 70 million euros, and he was unveiled at Old Trafford. It's a lot of money, but can he prove himself? The Pro Evolution Erling, the Hello Fresh Haaland. To be fair, he looks strong. He looks like a big don. This man's jaw is made of carbon fibre. He uses exhaust fumes as his deodorant. Facts. And for United, they announced their 3rd kit with a trailer featuring legend Roy Keane.
So have a good long think.
Really?
Lisandro Martinez was more than ready to start modelling the new third kit here. The first sentence of this one, too late to say no, not an ideal phrase to use right now. I guess they really are gonna let Mason Greenwood back into the team. Over in France, and there are surreal scenes at PSG. So normal scenes at PSG. The club have labelled a group of undesirables who are training away from the first team, and it includes Kylian Mbappe, who of course wants to leave. This is the happiest I've seen Kylian all year. They've made a group of undateables. Gini Wijnaldum and Julian Draxler have become at peace with their place at PSG.
Well, Alice, it seems we both got autism, haven't we?
Is that Sadio Mane down in the corner? Oh, now Tenas has been there for 3 days. How's he ended up in this group? Listen, Kylian Mbappe's not getting that Saudi move right now. This man's playing at Al Kebab here. It's time for Real Madrid fans to do detective mode. He's wearing a green top, but that's a white shirt underneath. I know exactly what that is. He's in a lift. I think there might be a lift in
Madrid.
He posted on IG with cards that have 9 on them. There's 10 letters in Real Madrid, which is almost 9. Neymar apparently now wants to leave the Parisian side as well, and can be seen here walking into the undesirable 11 changing room. He's outside Saudi headquarters right now, trying to convince them to get him a move. At least for PSG, they have signed Ousmane Dembele, so I'm looking forward to him attempting to come off the bench and make his debut. Sadio Mane is heading to Saudi Arabia though, after his move to Al Nassr is officially done. He met up with former Liverpool teammate Jordan Henderson. There was some wholesome stuff here, but they're going to struggle to bring the Liverpool rainbow laces over, watching an airstrike vaporise a journalist who questions the government. Gabriel Jesus and Alexander Zinchenko did an Arsenal interview this week, and once the sirens went off, Gabriel Jesus had a very dark humour joke to pull out.
Jesus Christ, you're a taxi.
Hey, listen, that is nuts. That's an FTW type beat. Gabby Jesus is out injured. No wonder. Imagine the tackles Zinchenko put on him here. And Gabriel will be concerned seeing the Ukrainian army outside his North London home. Meanwhile, Moises Caicedo is still wanting to move away from Brighton. He was ready to bring all his siblings and cousins to negotiations with the club. What's the point anyway? Brighton won't take his leaving message seriously. And he has excuses ready on game week 1 when Brighton ask where he is for the first match of the season.
I'm on the Swanscombe Peninsula. I'm in Swindon. I am outside the Bank of England. I am about to cross a road. I'm on my way back from the Arctic.
At Tottenham, and Jay-Z is apparently making a bid to buy the club. He saw his wife perform there and said, fuck it, I'll buy the gaff. He'll have 99 problems, and all of them will be Tottenham. Imagine Harry Kane trying to fit in when a hip-hop artist buys the club. Meanwhile, there's the news that there's changes coming to the Premier League, with increased additional time like the World Cup. Imagine being a poor Football League fan, missing the final train home because of additional time, and then having to try and convince your wife that an Ibis hotel in Milton Keynes is actually where she wants to be.
Could be Rome, could be the Venetian in Las Vegas, but we're here.
Personally, I'll have to take it out on the TFL staff. This is what they're seeing when I realise my next train home is at 6 in the morning. Elsewhere in pre-season, and this Aston Villa fan managed to convince other supporters that he was actually a Villa player. This is Mamadou Diaby. Jesse Lingard has been banned from driving after failing to snitch in court, but he was offered life in prison when he attempted to griddy in the courtroom. Liverpool are struggling to spell Dominic Szoboszlai on the back of his shirt, and RB Leipzig reassured the club that they'll get it eventually. Speaking of Szoboszlai, he attempted an audacious chip from the halfway line in pre-season, only to bring out the greatest save of all time.
And Hermanson just about keeps it out.
Fucking off that, you cunt!
Speaking of shirts and Liverpool,
I don't have time, actually. And you have to hold the fucking...
Oh, sorry, club.
that's just aggressive from Jurgen, I can't lie.
I'm sorry.
I'm a wanker, yeah?
Sorry.
Manchester City's game v Atletico in pre-season almost didn't happen after a flood at the stadium in South Korea where it was happening, but Man City have made it rain in terms of money, with the signing of Joško Gvardiol, who apparently almost quit football to sell fish. He's ready to put a meal deal together in the Man City canteen.
Come on, ladies, £1 fish.
Meanwhile, Andre Onana's in safe hands. Next up, we have potentially the greatest baby name of all time. Take it away, generic TV presenter.
A couple in Australia, and they were trying to figure out what to name their baby girl. And so the husband had a great idea. He said, let's name her La Nesra. La Nesra. And the wife was like, wow, that's a beautiful name. La Nesra. And it was beautiful. And La Nesra went on to be 2 years old. And then one day the husband said to the wife, I'm going to tell you why I suggested the name La which she just thought was unique and romantic.
Right.
It was his favorite soccer team, Arsenal. spelled backwards. Lanesra.
And staying on the Arsenal vibe, we've got Jorginho, who's quoted as saying, "What the fuck is that?" Forget about the quote. These trousers, we've got to rescind the shield, guys. I'm not gonna lie. Elsewhere in the UK, and your grandma goes from Aldi straight to five-a-side. Edwin Grandasar, you know. Manchester United. Bayer Leverkusen beat West Ham 4-0 in a friendly and asked them directly on Twitter whether they're massive now. It's a shithousery award for the Bundesliga side. And there's more bad news in the form of the transfer window for West Ham. Speaking of which, boys and girls, it's time for the FNG transfer roundup. First of all, we start in East London, where Lucas Paqueta is on the move to Manchester City. The treble winners want him, but with the prices that West Ham asked for, they might well have to sell their car in order to afford Lucas Paqueta. Sander Berge looks to be making the move from Sheffield United to Burnley, and after one girl sent holiday snaps to her dad, that was the only thing that he could keep his mind on. We can relate. Here's our response to the Rasmus Højlund deal. Oh, Rasmus. See, I knew it wasn't about that Erling Haaland guy. And finally, Sheffield United fans found out their beloved Iliman Ndiaye left the club via a Facebook advert. His strike partner was looking forward to playing with him this season, but Iliman had his own thoughts, and we can hear them here.
You can if you like, but I won't be there.
Over at Manchester United, and the panini they served at Old Trafford is literally a yeast sandwich. Fulham have brought out a new away kit, and it is literally inspired by the Barbie movie. Apparently because Margot Robbie is a Fulham fan. Wait, hang on a second. Yo, hey, Margot, what? Hey, come. In Spain, we had the first of 43 meetings between Real Madrid and Barcelona this season, ending in a 3-0 win for the Catalan side. Real Madrid's starting 11 and boss was not quite matching, but this was basically an early El Scrapico. Poor Jude Bellingham, man. He has absolutely no idea what these Spaniards are angrily saying.
Sacapuntas.
You're a sacapuntas, G. Over at Real Madrid, and Eduardo Camavinga was caught out a little bit. Luka Modric came face to face with Casemiro and was surprised to see him so lean. I can only imagine after the viral Photoshop picture I showed you last FTW that you're not actually in a kebab shop. In Italy, and there's the news that Gianluigi Buffon has finally retired from football. And I don't mean that in like a positive way. Like, this is a great loss for the game. What a career he had. But has apparently said that he would love to return back to school after not finishing it back when he was a kid. Could you imagine when he walks into English literature for the first time and sees the students around him?
16? At a push 17? 16?
He's gonna have to really knuckle down and get fit when it comes to PE with the rest of the year 7s. But at least he has an advantage when it comes to history. This was his first game, for God's sake. Juventus have agreed to sign Romelu Lukaku, but no fan wants this at all, as a group of fans literally ran onto the pitch at the Allianz. Due to his allegiance with Inter, as well as his mentality over recent years, Juventus are staging a protest over this transfer happening. Yeah, I'll be honest, guys, like, I preferred the fan violence back at Chelsea. Like, they're the team that I have really at my heart. Imagine supporters starting a GoFundMe not to sign you. You've got to just retire. And at Roma, Jose Mourinho took a silent dig at the Roma board. He's been wanting them to sign a new striker for the entire summer window and intentionally left a gap where he would want his new number 9 to be during their team photo for the season.
It's not easy being special.
In France, and there's an unlikely bromance developing between Neymar and new signing Kangin Lee. In Germany, and Timo Werner got involved in a TikTok. Now, all you got to do, lad, is just stick the ball in the back of the net. FSV Frankfurt went into the 90th minute of the game 3-1 down. Would you believe it? Scored 3 goals in 9 minutes to win 4-3. Meanwhile, at Hertha Berlin, in a Bundesliga 2 game, their manager played 3 of his sons at the same time in a game. Their under-19s intake is based solely on his birth rate. Back at the Women's World Cup quickly, though, and Germany are out of the tournament in the group stages. They beat Morocco 6-0 and still finished behind them in the group. One of their stars grabbed man of the match in the final game, but to be honest, I don't think wanted to be there during the selfie for it. Jamaica shocked the world by knocking out Brazil in the group stages. Brazilian legend Marta was at Jamaica's dressing room trying to get in and get a start for them in the knockout round. Meanwhile, the cameraman here has had this commentator's life.
Another spare seat in the house. This is packed here.
Now that it's time for your goals of the week, some more screamers again. First of all, we head over to Brazil, and a 37-year-old Hulk has lost absolutely none of his shot power. All of these goals are screamers this week, and that continues over to Turkey and Galatasaray, where Dries Mertens has locked on to the end of a corner routine and volleyed the ball into the back of the net. And finally, at Swansea, take about Josh Ginelli or Ginelli, I'm not entirely sure to be honest, but this could be a goal of the season contender already after a nutmeg and 30-yard thunderstrike over in Iceland. And there is the crazy story it's developed through Copenhagen's European qualifying game. They beat Icelandic side Breiðablik 8-3 on aggregate, thanks largely to a hat-trick from their forward Ori Oskarsson. The crazy thing here is Ori is the son of Breiðablik's manager and was given his debut by his dad for the Icelandic side a few years ago. The Icelandic manager had some strong words at full time in a press conference after his son knocked him out of Europe.
We used to have fun until delivered that baby. Look, that's not my son.
Christmas dinner is going to get a little bit awkward, I am not going to lie to you.
Enjoy the money. I hope it makes you very happy.
Imagine the dad looking back in time at the day that he chose to bring Ori to take your son to work day. One fan asked Lionel Messi for a kiss this week and somehow got it in Mexico, and there were very unique scenes from Tigres' goalkeeper, who first of all decided to become a mime to try and put off an attacker for a penalty shootout, and then just brought out an entire magic trick, and somehow it worked. And next up, I make the goal disappear. I mean, that's just it's gonna be a yellow card, isn't it, mate? You can't do that. Staying on the North American vibe, but at Houston, after just conceding a goal, all you've got to do is keep things tight.
Oh, it's a disaster! An absolute disaster for Houston!
Match fixed.
Carlos Borges brings some wholesome news this week. After signing for Ajax recently, he gave the reason as to why he has a different name on the back of his shirt. It is the surname of his mum, who he plays football for.
Hello all, and welcome to The Beautiful Game, the segment where we take a look at the poetic and brilliant side of the game that we love. We are back by popular demand for yet more glorious beauty. And that concludes The Beautiful Game.
Over in Brazil, and we've seen this guy appear on FTW recently. Apparently, he's an absolute maniac in the Brazilian league, and he's absolutely mastered time wasting. Not quite mastered hiding the fact that he's time wasting, no. I'm not really injured, mate. Over at Palmeiras, and their fans are frustrated at the lack of transfers so far this summer, and so hired out a billboard at Times Square to try and convince their board to make some deals happen. In the Bulgarian second division now, we've got a goat being escorted off the pitch. So that's where Phil Jones is gonna have to get in released. In Poland now, and you can give it large in the crowd if you want, but just make sure you're paying attention to the football. But listen, that guy's lost his glasses, but that ain't gonna be happening anytime soon in Scotland. This man has got 40-40 vision.
I can see!
Slovenian side Olympia made it through their Champions League qualifier v Ludogorets with a last-minute penalty save from their goalkeeper. Dramatic scenes there. Meanwhile, over in Argentina, Ezekiel Ceballos, do you want to explain this one, G? On-the-floor nutmeg, is that what the game's evolved into? At Real Salt Lake over in the MLS, and a raccoon fell through the ceiling during a press conference there. How is the cast of Over the Hedge arriving for your pre-match interview? So I'm thinking inverted wing-backs today. Meanwhile, Uruguayan legend Diego Godin has retired from football after 799 games. Surely you just have to play one more, right? Closer to home, no, and there's the news that legendary NFL player Tom Brady has taken over at Birmingham City. This is the craziest collaboration I think I've ever seen. Birmingham officials are going to be frustrated when they realize they can't retire a quarterback position, but Tom will just be happy to get out of Birmingham when no one kicks the ball directly over the crossbar.
Yes! Knew I could do it! Get me out of this shitter!
Port Vale launched their new football kit into space this week, and I've got to say, as a shirt, it's out of this world. One Peterborough fan was giving it large in the crowd before completely stacking it down the stairs. And at Accrington versus Bradford, one of the more unique penalties of the week was taken. Over in Mexico, and Pedro Ruiz had an absolute stinker for Atletico La Paz. Things are a lot more calm and casual over in Argentina. Now, on the theme of pets, and over in Serbia, a dog's managed to get on the pitch and is showing some great dribbling and agility. On the theme of own goals again, Alexander Radovanovic has scored a brilliant one under absolutely no pressure here for Kortrijk. If you're getting a shirt pull, you might as well give the bib to whoever's asking for it. There were crazy scenes in Poulsen's Champions League qualifiers where there was a red card in the 19th minute of injury time and a winner in the 26th. Croatia's Istra lost 6-0 this week, and with this defending, it's not hard to see why. The Austrian Cup provided the best draw of this week as SV Salzburg take on their Red Bull counterpart, a club that the company Red Bull stole so much from, including their name and their history and their position in the top flight of a league. Guess you could probably call this one a derby. And our good friends PDRM in Malaysia, they're collaborating with a horror film for marketing, and it saw 4 Grim Reapers in the crowd. And down in the lower leagues of English football, if you run out of bibs, then someone get the high-vis jackets out. Now though, it's time for Still 0-0, and you guys know the score by now. This is a segment of the show where I bring to the best of Sunday League and amateur football. And this week, we've actually got a news story rather than a video, and that's that amateur referees are going to have body cams attached to them for the new season to stop violent conduct against them. Obviously, I think it's a great idea if it's going to help protect them. So if a referee wants to give it back, he's switching that off and delivering a people's elbow. Meanwhile, this is what the body cam's going to see when 56-year-old Darren isn't pleased with a referee's decision. On to the weird stuff though now. Over in Scotland, and there was a public service announcement at this club who were looking for a child wearing a Celtic top and a black body warmer, pleading for anyone that knew him to return the match ball that they just stole from Montgomery Park. Scottish football is truly beautiful. In Norway, and there was crazy stuff between Bodo Glimt and Tromsø, where Lasse Nordas, who's about to join Tromsø from Bodo Glimt, had to fly back injured 2 days before the deal can take place in order to play against them, with the injury being the official reason why he had to miss training with his new side. Fuck knows, I don't know what's going on up there either. There's the Suriname vice president who's still scoring in their Premier Division, age 62. He's been accused of match fixing and this week scored a penalty 2 years after playing in the CONCACAF League. But finally, I want to shine a light on a tragic news story, if I'm honest with you, and that comes in the form of Dinamo Zagreb and AEK Athens, who had their European qualifier cancelled after a fan tragically lost his life due to an altercation between the two supporters. Now, this is violent ultra culture, okay? And honestly, it is a massive blot on the sport as a whole. I don't have a massive problem with normal ultra fans, as long as they can actually behave correctly, but there's no way a fan should be going to a game and not coming home. So thoughts go out to the family, and hopefully we can see some genuine change. That though is going to wrap up football this week, and I hope you have enjoyed it. If you have, then feel free to slap a like on the video, and of course subscribe if you're new to the channel. You can also follow me on social media. It is at the official FNG on Twitter and on Insta, and there will be no breaks now for FTW every single week, ladies and gentlemen. It has been a pleasure though ranting at you guys today. Have a wonderful day, enjoy yourselves, and goodbye.